Welcome back, everybody, or more likely nobody, to this playthrough of KOTOR 2. Without any further ado, we'll just go ahead and hop right back in there. We left off last time. We didn't play through the tutorial. We skipped that. So our character just kind of ran through trying to figure out what's going on in this mining station, and we're picking up here playing as T3. Oh. Occasionally it'll just kind of freeze up like this, where I can't move anymore. There we go. There she be. I don't think there's anything on either side of this. Okay. All right, I think we might have an item or two for, here we go, a neural pacifier. Okay, so we get stun a droid. All right, so we don't currently have a repair part though. So it seems like after combat is when that freezing thing will happen. But, okay, this time it didn't work. Once we just saved it, what if we save and load? There we go. Just spam the shock arm. Weird. I don't know why it continues to not allow me to move after combat. Alright, let's actually unequip that pacifier on the Can we during combat? Okay, cool. Just kind of gets in the way. Purged the fuel lines and I found 3 sonic charges attached inside. I checked the work logs and only droids have been seen in the area. I tried to contact security as soon as I found the explosives, but I can't seem to get a signal through. I've removed the remote detonators and I'll pull the explosives on me until I can put them in a secure hold in the hangar. Alright, so we're still stuck without being able to move. I was able to get to the corpse here using the R key. But I hope this doesn't continue, because that'll be kind of frustrating if I have to save and load every time that I enter and leave combat. Maybe next episode I'll see if there's something I can do to fix that issue. Alright, do we have anything now? We have the just potential users. I think we're good on those. See, but there I was able to move immediately after, so I'm not sure what's going on there. That's okay. Oh, poor little guy. See what we can do for him in a second. Let's loot first. Oh, flamethrower. Computer spike. Have we gotten a repair part yet? I haven't been paying attention. Oh, poor guy. Okay, I did get a couple of repair parts. Sweet. Replace the missing part. Functionality restored. Okay, so we'll access hangar logs, docking and takeoff procedures. All incoming and outgoing freighters need orbital drift charts transmitted from Paragus in order to navigate the asteroid field surrounding the mining colony. Without it, any vessel entering or leaving Paragus is in danger of being destroyed in the asteroid fields. Okay, the navicomputer is locked. Need to find a way to get them onto the Ebon Hawk when you are ready for takeoff. We can download them. So we need to do it just before we leave. Okay, hangar logs, 25312, contraband.
A lot of cargo from the Jedi's freighter is being stored in the secure cargo hold until we can pass it through the quarantine checks. And as requested, all the programming spikes the security officers wanted confiscated have been stored there as well to prevent further system compromises. The secure cargo hold should be safe enough. If anybody wants to break into it, they'd have to blow it open with explosives.
Alright, maintenance violation.
Who ordered the mining droids to repair that Jedi's freighter? I come in here off the work shift and 3 of them are repairing the port stabilizers? Did I miss something? Is somebody planning a trip? Because orders were that the hangar was to be locked down ever since that Jedi arrived. I don't know what maintenance is up to, but you can't just commission droids for repairs, especially with half the work shifts in medbay. Those droids are needed to repair the ventilation tunnels before gas builds up to terminal levels. It's not like that ship can go anywhere anyway. Even if it had the asteroid orbital drift charts, the navicomputer's been voice-locked. You'd need the access code to get it spaceworthy. Considering this latest droid commission breach, I'm putting the droids in this section under the control of the current dock officer. If anyone sends commands to the mining droids outside this terminal, I'll be forced to enact full override.
253-17, navicomputer lock.
Looks like those droids got the vessel working again, even with all the damage it had taken. The maintenance officer still won't admit ordering them to fix it, though. Regardless, still no luck accessing the navicomputer. It's been voice-locked. Maybe by one of the corpses we found on the ship, like the old woman. If so, that ship isn't going anywhere, unless we rip out the navicomputer and put in a new one. If we even had one to spare. The only reason someone would lock their navicomputer is to hide their astrogation charts. Someone didn't want us to know where that ship was going, or where it had been. Only smugglers do that, or someone with something to hide. That Jedi's got a lot of questions to answer.
All right, main functions. We have enough computer spikes, access hangar bay layout. I think it just updates our map. Yep, can be referenced on the journal screen. All exits, rooms, and important areas will have their own ID signatures labeled on the map. All right, main functions. Emergency control commands. Run a diagnostic on damaged systems. All emergency subsystems rerouted. Fuel depot terminal. Access to the Paragus emergency subsystems have been rerouted to a fuel depot computer terminal, and the connecting circuits have been burned out with a mining laser, preventing remote access. The damage cannot be repaired. You'll need to find the fuel depot terminal to activate the Paragus emergency systems. Check status of emergency subsystems. Emergency lockdown procedure activated. Hangar bay sealed. Fuel depot sealed. Open blast door to the fuel depot. Turn to main functions. We can open the hangar, I do believe. Yep, conduit removed. Okay. Remote camera controls. Take a look at the decontamination area. Hangar 25 with the Ebon Hawk. Main cargo hold. Security cargo room, which we've been in. Main functions. Comm system. Signal unit destroyed. Con system from hangar inoperative. Looks as if the communication systems was purposely burned out with a mining laser. Even if you had the parts, you don't think you could contact the administration level from this computer. Right, I don't think there's anything else we can do here. Go ahead and log out. Log out. Get down to fuel depot. So we're stuck again. I wonder if there's any button we can press to get us out of that. Okay, to see its hotkey. I don't think a stance would matter. Repair kit probably wouldn't matter. Switching. Weapons. Doesn't do it. Now that is pausing. Said hopefully by next episode I can kind of go in and mess around, see what I can figure out. Just kind of clear all of these notifications essentially. Alright. Wonder if I just click through some of these tabs here. If I go to the journal to rescue our homie. Still doesn't do anything. Okay. Guess we'll save and load again. That time it didn't do it. Hmm. Remote cameras, fuel line sensors. There's a mine and some sort of satchel. Appears to be some sort of metal case lying inside the fuel pipe, but you can't make it out. Maintenance level. That's where we found the mines on that one corpse. Droid maintenance area. Looks like there's a droid on the other side there. New programming has been introduced to keep from opening even if the lockdown is canceled. There's no way to shut down the field that you can see from this terminal. This means anyone inside the facility is effectively cut off from the hangar bay. Main console functions, system log. Within the past day, a series of explosions within the Paragus mining facility has enacted an emergency lockdown. Someone has sliced into the field depot computers and created a phantom fuel leak, sealing off the area with force fields to contain the quote-unquote blast. Looks as if someone has been using the lockdowns to systematically isolate sections of the facility. Call up emergency system schematics. Status deactivated. Open emergency hatch on Paragus administration level. Main console functions, there's nothing else we can do here. Log out. Poor dude.
So is that stupid droid of yours gonna come through or not?
It's not my droid. I don't know who he belongs to.
Well, I'm beginning to think I was a little better off in my... Hey, what do you know? A little cargo cylinder came through.
Looks like it, but it's strange she didn't contact us on the comm.
If he got the turbo lifts working, then we should have a clear run to the hangar.
We don't have a clear run to the hangar. All that's open is the emergency hatch.
Wait. Don't tell me you're taking that hatch down into the mining tunnels. Are you? That explosion I heard came from below. There's probably nothing down there except superheated rock and collapsed blast tunnels. You'd be an idiot to go down there.
Maybe, but it's the only way out, and it's better I risk my life than yours.
You're either really brave or really crazy, or both. Alright, I'll try to monitor things from up here. And be careful. The only thing moving down there is likely to be mining droids, so don't be playing hero too hard. Not that I care what happens to you or anything. I just don't want to be trying to get off this rock by myself.
Your concern is noted. I'll be going now.
I'll keep the comm link open. I may be able to guide you through the tunnels from up here. Don't know if the signal will hold if you get too deep, though.
You have received a comlink. Party members or others may use it to contact you or help you or provide information. All right. So since we're going this direction, we'll stop by the sort of entry area there, talk to Kreia, just to see if there's any fresh dialogue before we go back through that turbo lift.
Yes? What have you found?
I think we already did the persuade where the patients in the med bay were killed by at least lethal dose of sedatives. I keep hearing your voice as I explore this place.
Ah, yes, I noticed that as well. It may be that our proximity during our long slumber may have had unforeseen consequences.
Unforeseen consequences?
We seem to be able to speak without speaking. Perhaps this effect will pass with time.
What if it doesn't pass?
then hope that we have little to say to each other lest it prove distracting.
Alright then, I'll be back. Okay, music's still a little loud for me. Let me see if I can change that. Every now and then it just really ramps up. Do the same with the movies. Close. Close. Alright.
Can you read me?
Barely. There's a lot of static.
There's a lot of interference down there, probably caused by that explosion. Still, it looks like there's a route down to the Paragas fuel depot. If the passages haven't collapsed, that explosion knocked out most of the sensors. There should be an emergency crate in the next room. Watch yourself. There's a lot of droid broadcasts in that area, but I can't pin them down.
Alright. I'll be careful then. If you detect anything, signal me.
Will do. And be careful down there.
Alright, I guess we'll stop being naked. We'll throw on a minor uniform. Survey gear just gives us some extra awareness and gives us resistance versus sonic damage. Might as well throw on energy and electrical 40 points. Heat 20 points. Well, we have enough space we can throw on a shield on each of those, so why not? Safety harness just gives us demolitions +1. We'll see if we need that. We'll keep the stealth field generator on for now. And then I think vibro cutter is still the best we've got.
Find the emergency supplies?
Looks like some mining gear and a uniform.
About time. The whole half-naked Jedi thing was wearing a little thin. Look, there may be some survey gear and a safety harness inside the crate, too. The miners wear them when staking claims on the asteroids. The survey gear is designed to spot and protect you against sonic mines, and the safety harness can be helpful if you try to disarm them.
Got it. Let's go.
Just one more thing. I've narrowed down some of the ID signals, and if the numbers are right, you're sharing those tunnels with a battalion of mining droids.
I can handle it. Just guide me out of here.
There's got to be some central controller down there. See if you can find a terminal by the main access shaft. That'd be governing intelligence. Watch where you step. I'm picking up a lot of sonic mines down there. Don't run unless you have to. It makes them harder to spot. If you have any skill with demolitions, you might be able to recover them and use them against the droids. That is, if the mines don't get you first. If you have survey gear or a safety harness, put them on. They'll make spotting and disarming the sonic charges a little easier.
Understood. Osriel out. Alright, let's see if we can recover this one. Do have the demolitions for it. Here we go. Alright, so we've got 10 repair parts. We should be able to make this thing pretty fired up. Okay. So we want to let's engage it in patrol mode. We'll also optimize its weaponry. That's all we got. Alright, so we should just be able to let it go. Should start attacking the droids in the next room. Looks like we're stuck again. Oh, hey, we're moving. Sweet. Alright. Alright, we'll use an energy shield. Alright, we'll throw a grenade at this little guy. Ah, it didn't kill him. We got some credits. Okay. Now it looks like we're maybe able to move after just a little bit. I just have to be patient. Advanced mining laser. Okay. I think if I remember correctly, this is heat damage. So we'll go ahead and activate the mining shield.
Hey, watch out. That explosion has superheated the tunnels ahead. That steam will cook the skin off your bones. If you can find a mining energy shield, switch it on. It should protect you against the heat if you move quickly enough.
I'll do that. See if we can recover this mine before getting shot at. Same with this one. Alright, now I'm trying to remember, was there anything in this heat that we can get to? I don't think so. I am a bit of a loot goblin though. Adrenal stamina, get items. Oh, it just missed. Okay, let's... Sonic grenade doesn't do that much. Let's throw a couple of grenades. Wow. Okay. Okay, this time it's not allowing me to move again. What if I use an ability? There we go. Weird. We'll make do. I think that's everything here. Alright, so we'll level up before we get into this next area. Here we go. So the next feat we get, we want to turn repair into a class skill, because I think I mentioned in the first episode, going for a pretty skill heavy playthrough here. I love how games that give your skills actual dialogue options just makes things more enjoyable. All right, we want to keep Persuade maxed out. It's a pretty little charismatic dude. And then I don't care as much about stealth, but security and treat injury, sure. Actually, take away from treat injury, add one to demolitions. Feats, like I said before, we want to turn repair into a class skill. And then we'll start dipping into combat feats. Powers. Okay, so it's just a 20-second long defense and saving throws. And all party members. For 6 points of damage from just about everything, and it's 120 seconds. I don't think we want to use our affect mind. We want to do that, do some Jedi mind trick stuff. Stun, stun droid, wound, slow, fear, shock, push. Throw a lightsaber we'll get eventually. Mind trick. Let's get affect mind. No, let's do force push. There we go. Accept that. Go ahead and save.
You're getting close to something big. I think it's the main ventilation shaft. If so, the central droid controller should be somewhere nearby. Keep an eye out for it. I'm picking up a lot of droids. If you still have a mining energy shield, I'd equip it and switch it on.
Understood. Ozril out. Okay, can I have an energy shield active and stealth? Okay. We're going to try and get to the center console there. I forget what our options are, but I think we can do a few cool things. Does looting a corpse stop stealth? Let's find out. Doesn't seem like it. Cool. Central controller. Oh yeah, that's the only one we got. All right, sweet. Let's see what we can do. Call it droid command function. So it's just one spike. Thankfully, we only have one. Add other droids to droid mining protocols. Cancel all droid mining functions on organics. Reassign droid mining protocols to mine sealed doors. I don't think we'd want to necessarily just kill every single mining droid here, so let's just cancel all droid mining functions on organics. So we'll override all current commands on the droids. Continue. Mining protocols canceled. Okay, main functions, field containment functions, shut down containment fields. Main functions. Identified hollow record camera, work claim 12-34. Playback initiated.
Everybody here? What's up, Kurta? We're supposed to be sinking fuel siphons into the 3218 asteroid shelf right now.
Forget the siphons. You know that survivor they pulled from the freighter? One of the miners said they served with him on Malachor 5.
Malachor 5? So he's one of the survivors. Or worse, a Mandalorian. So what?
Not a survivor, idiot. He's one of the Jedi from Malachor 5.
If he's one of the Jedi, hell, we can't have him walking around here. I don't know what he'll do.
I thought all the Jedi were wiped out in the Civil War, weren't they?
Guess they missed one. But it gets better. I did some checking, and that bounty on Nar Shaddaa is still live.
What? You want to sell the Jedi to the exchange? Kurta, have you been chewing spice?
Look, you know how big that bounty is? That Jedi's our ticket off this rock.
Gorda, there's no way the officers will go for that. They'll lock us up for sure.
Then we'll improvise.
Ooh. Someone has taken care to delete the record of this camera being placed. It is not listed on any of the work records. We take a look at emergency hatch to the administration level. That's where we came from. I think, right? Emergency hatch to the field depot, which is where we're going towards, it looks like. Main functions, log out. I think we're good there. Alright, and now none of these droids should be hostile. Should be able to scavenge the mining droid for spare components. Leave it alone. Scavenge for rare components. Leave alone. Can I get through this door? Maybe not. Doesn't look like it. Okay. There. Let's become speed. Already get this one? Okay, already scavenged that one. High security door. What's through here? Okay, so just more loot. Ooh, mines. Cool thing about this game is it's been long enough since I've played it that there's a lot that I've forgotten. So I'm looking forward to this playthrough. I think it'll be just a really good time for me, at least.
Yeah, I'm picking up some strange readings. What are you doing down there?
What kind of readings?
The containment fields in the mining tunnels are shutting down. You need to get out of there before they vent fuel to the surface of the asteroid through the tunnels.
Can you override it?
I may be able to keep it contained until you get the turbo lift to the fuel depot, but not for much longer. I'm locking down the turbo lift to the administration section now to keep the blast from spreading. If you've got anything left to do down there, make it quick, because where you are is going to get real hot real soon.
Uh-oh. Let's recover a couple of mines quick. Can we scavenge from the maintenance right? Nope, never mind. These guys, though. More components. More components. Nothing in there. Might as well grab another mine. Okay. Can I like open it with a sonic charge? Minor sonic mine. What do we got? Cool. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. should have a good amount of components by the end of this, so that's encouraging. Let's go ahead and get a few more done. Alright, let's get out of here.
It is a pleasure to see you alive, Master, provided my receptors are not off focus. How may I be of assistance?
How do you know me? I'm not your master.
Answer. I am a survivor of the Harbinger, just as you were, Master. With the unexpected termination of my previous master, you are the only organic which I may now serve.
Who was your previous master?
Answer. The captain of the Harbinger, Master. I was in transit to Telos to facilitate communications and terminate hostilities. However, we did not arrive at our intended destination.
What happened?
Irritated answer. Oh, Master, it is such a long, dull story, and not terribly relevant to our current situation.
Why don't you tell me anyway?
Hesitant explanation. That has been the subject of considerable discussion since our arrival here, Master. Many have attempted to claim you and this unit as salvage. I was crudely interrogated concerning our brief history together on board the Harbinger, before its communications, weapons, and engines suffered the cascade failure that disabled the ship.
And where was I when this was taking place?
Speculation. It is possible you were incapacitated and locked in the well-shielded cargo compartment as the Harbinger was being systematically crippled, Master.
Incapacitated?
Clarification. Yes, Master. No doubt the flurry of destruction on board the Harbinger somehow drugged you into a stupor from which you could not awaken. Most curious.
Maybe you better explain the stupor part.
Placation, merely a turn of phrase, Master. The implication that your state was due to the result of ingesting large quantities of Juma juice was unintentional. I meant to communicate only that you were somehow rendered unconscious before you were locked securely in the cargo hold.
So I wasn't sealed in the cargo hold. Someone locked me in.
Clarification, by locked. I meant sealed, Master. My vocabulator seems to be malfunctioning.
Fine. What happened next?
Recitation. Following the unusual set of coincidences that led to the cascade failure in the Harbinger's systems, we were boarded by a small freighter with unknown ID codes. It appeared that this freighter had been attacked, and the captain wanted to study it. This freighter appeared to be still spaceworthy. Your cargo compartment was breached, and you were taken on board the freighter shortly before the Harbinger's systems began to go critical. I, too, managed to board the freighter before the Harbinger's destruction. We were most fortunate to have survived, Master.
Any idea what had attacked the small freighter?
Evaluation. Master, I do not know. Judging from the damage, it had been attacked by a much larger vessel. And when it attempted to escape the Harbinger with you on board, it was fired on again. Addendum. It does seem odd that such a small vessel has a high probability of attracting the attention of much larger vessels. Not a welcome trait in a freighter, to be sure.
What was this freighter that the Harbinger brought on board?
Explanation. I believe it was a smuggler's vessel by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Speculation. As to its purpose, I do not know. Perhaps it was always its intention to play dead, then kidnap you off the Harbinger and rob me of my bounty.
Bounty?
Clarification. By bounty, I refer to your life, Master. It would pain me to see you damaged in any way. That is why the arrival of this Ebon Hawk caused me considerable distress.
Why did the Ebon Hawk come here?
Apology. My memory core cannot provide a clear answer on that point, Master. Suffice to say that once we arrived at this floating rock, our situation became much clearer.
How so?
Explanation. Despite my market value, Master, the miners were far more interested in you. It did not take long for me to ascertain the reason for this. While an HK protocol droid is a valuable piece of property, Jedi are worth much more in certain exclusive markets across the galaxy. Painful admission. I must confess to feelings of inferiority at the speculated difference between my value and the price for your capture. I was forced to remind myself it was not due to a failing of my model or function, but because you were a Jedi.
I had some other questions I wanted to ask you.
Of course, Master. How may I be of assistance?
What are you?
Proud answer. I am an HK series protocol droid master, skilled in transorganic relations and communications. This model has been responsible for the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities across the galaxy. I am fluent in over 6,000 forms of communication and am also capable of nuances of expression ranging from irony to veiled threats.
Veiled threats?
Clarification. Oh, yes, Master. Sometimes the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities requires the use of every weapon in one's verbal arsenal. The unspoken threat of violence to a listener's loved ones, or if possible, their entire planet, can effectively break the deadlock in the most stubborn of negotiations.
I had some more questions for you.
Of course, Master. How may I be of assistance?
Have you seen a T3 unit?
Hesitant answer. A T3 utility droid would be a common sight in this facility. It is indeed curious that I have not seen many since my arrival. However, I feel I must inform you that, droid prejudice aside, T3 models exhibit excessive individualism when not routinely memory wiped. This individualism can become such a nuisance that even a droid such as myself is tempted to reduce them to their base components, if not crush them into slag. But enough of my seemingly irrelevant tangent. Where did you leave the droid, Master? That would logically be the best place to look.
The unit was last seen near the hangar.
Answer. Then that would explain why such a T3 unit isn't here, Master. I believe my photoreceptors are functioning adequately enough to verify that.
Then maybe you can answer something else for me.
Of course, Master. How may I be of assistance?
I am looking for a way into the Paragus hangar bay.
Pitying answer. Oh, that is unfortunate, Master. The hangar is sealed behind a containment field. It would be impossible to open it.
Then how did the T3 unit get through it?
Clarifying query. Did the T3 unit go through the door? I regret ignorance of that fact, Master. Although the door could have been opened from the opposite side without much difficulty, a flaw in the emergency lockdown procedure, which the automated systems have most likely corrected.
What about override codes?
Answer. Only the Paragus administration officer would have such codes, Master. If he hasn't already been murdered in an unfortunate accident, then he is trapped in the dormitory section, which has been effectively cut off from the facility by explosives.
If I crawled through mining tunnels to get here, there's likely to be other tunnels.
Theory. You could walk across the surface of the asteroid to the dormitory airlock, but such a route would be extremely hazardous. and I do not wish to see you damaged.
Those miners could be hurt or in danger. We need to make sure they're all right.
Warning, Master. Continued exploration of this facility may place you in unnecessary danger. I encourage you to return to the medical bay and wait for retrieval from a vessel that is no doubt on the way, even as we continue this pointless conversation.
I'm going to find those miners, and you're going to help me.
Weary resignation. Very well, Master, but there is very little that I can do. You see, the airlock is sealed by a code.
All right, so how do I get the code to the airlock?
Correction. Oh, I already possess the code, Master, but I am afraid that it will do you no good.
If you have the code, then give it to me.
Condescending explanation. Master, the console governing the droid maintenance area and the airlock is voice printed. Musing. In the last days of his life, the maintenance officer was quite careful about voice protocols, bordering on paranoid obsession. Conjecture. I suspect once he realized something was wrong in the facility, he voice-locked the droid bay functions. A prudent measure, but in the end, he met the same fate as the rest of the organics.
But you do know the code.
Condescending explanation. Oh yes, Master. The code is Maintenance Control Voice Print ID R1B5. But unless the maintenance officer speaks the code, it is useless.
Then how can I actually, let's leave the condescending out of your speech conditionals from now on, or else. This droid's got something messed up going on with it.
Placating answer. Oh, of course, Master. I shall endeavor not to forget such descriptors in the future. If I do, I assure you, it is merely a result of memory damage I have suffered since our arrival.
Fine. Now tell me how to get off this rock.
Answer. Master, you cannot. You are trapped here just as I am. There is nothing to do, except patiently wait for whatever the future has in store for us.
I had some more questions for you.
Master, how may I be of assistance?
What's that body over there?
Answer. That is all that remains of the maintenance officer, Master. At the end, he was quite incoherent from the pain, and attempts to facilitate communications with him proved useless. I heard his dying screams as the droids he tended turned on him, mining him like a piece of asteroid rock.
Did he say anything at the end?
Recitation? Oh yes, Master. The record of his last moments were...
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone there! Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop! Stop, please!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life.
Wait, if you can play back his voice, can't you speak the voice code?
Objection. Master, to commit such an act would be in violation of the ethics programming most droids are believed to possess. I am afraid there is nothing that can be done.
Persuade. The fact you can mimic... Actually, let's do believe to possess.
Irritated statement. Master, if you insist on echoing everything I say, this already tedious conversation is in danger of becoming even longer. Clarification. But yes, most droids are believed to possess ethics programming. Such programming would prevent me from using my incredible talents to break a voice print code.
Persuade. The fact you can mimic voices is pretty impressive. What would it sound like if you did speak the code to the console?
Proud answer. Master, I believe my vocabulator is working adequately enough to accommodate your request. A recitation.
Maintenance control voice print ID R1V5.
There. Was that sufficient, Master?
Can you follow me and say that again?
Alarmed objection. Oh, Master, no. I might inadvertently speak such a command near a console and accidentally unlock something I shouldn't. I was merely speaking such to prove to you that I could. It is a trait I'm quite proud of.
I've heard enough. I'll be going now. Alright. Doesn't have much on him, but we'll take it. Nothing in these lockers. Broken droid. Get items. More components. More components. Alright, it's the first time we get access to a workbench. Sonic Imprint Center. Alright, so I think that's what we need to record voices. Comlink. Receiver allows sound and voices to be recorded, spliced, and then played back. Alright, so we needed to talk to HK again to get the code in the maintenance officer's voice. But let's go ahead and mess with the workbench for now. Let's create or break down items. So we'll view what we can break down, because there are things that just they aren't worth enough to try and sell. It's like the plasma torch, mining laser. Actually, we'll hold on to the heavy mining laser. We might give that to Atten later. 10 energy shields. Let's break down 5. Mining shields will keep 1. Safety harness, cardio regulator. Leave those for now. Data pad, we don't need those. Repair kit will keep. Security tunnels will keep. And then all of these upgrades we'll hold on to for now, but we might keep these droid add-ons to sell later, except for these neural pacifiers. We'll delete those. All right, creatable items. We've got 1 computer spike in inventory. Let's grab a few parts. Have a few. Fully upgradable pistol. An upgradable longsword. We need a repair skill of 5 to create a vibro sword. We might wait to do that, as well as with these other pistols and whatnot. We can just use the stuff we have. Alright, that said though, can we upgrade anything? Do we not have any lays? Nope, okay. Makes it easier. Okay.
Greeting. It is a pleasure to see you intact, Master. How may I be of assistance?
Sonic sensor. Can you play back the maintenance officer's last words?
Recitation? Oh, yes, Master. The record of his last moments were...
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone that... Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop! Stop, please!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life.
Wait, if you can play back his voice, can't you speak the voice code?
Objection. Master, to commit such an act would be in violation of the ethics programming most droids are believed to possess. I am afraid There is nothing that can be done.
Persuade plus sonic sensor. Do the same thing we did last time. The fact you can mimic voices is pretty impressive. What would it sound like if you did speak the voice code to the console?
Proud answer. Master, I believe my vocabulator is working adequately enough to accommodate your request. A recitation.
Maintenance control voice print ID R1B5.
There. Was that sufficient, Master?
Yes, I think that's all I'll need.
Confused query. I am sorry, Master. Were you speaking to yourself?
Never mind then. I'll be going now. Toss an ion grenade at this guy. Oh! Threw a grenade at me, man. Sonic grenade gonna kill the maintenance droid? Cool. Throw another sonic grenade at that guy. Damn. Ooh. Throw a grenade at this guy. Hey, hey. Sounds like there's droids on the other side of this door. Try and force push this guy. Oh, there we go. Knock him down. Epic battle. Push him down, get him out of here. Whoops, not what I meant to do. Use a couple med packs. I think there's not really any other combat that happens here, but maybe there is, I don't know. Okay, so we're frozen again, but let's see if we level up if that gets us out of there. Alright, attributes. Sweet. So obviously intelligence is the one that we're kind of pumping up as much as possible. I think let's just go ahead and increase it again. Why not? Skills. So we want to increase our repair up as much as possible now that we have that. And then let's just keep persuade topped up. Powers. Now let's go ahead and do the force valor once we do get a full party. Alright, looks like we're truly stuck this time. Let's go ahead and save. Load. Alright, is there anything we can open in here? Doesn't look like it. Alright. Ooh. Does another one take it down? There we go. Cool. Turbo lift. Alright, access maintenance logs. Log 25310, sonic imprint sensor.
Finished the sonic imprint sensor prototype for the mining droids. Everyone knows they need an upgrade. The sensor should allow me to issue voice commands to them rather than manually adjusting their routine each time the mining specifications change. I've been keeping the sensor in the maintenance workshop for the time being. I wanted to test it first by recording and playing back some simple voice commands.
Okay. 253-11, Ebon Hawk droids.
Finished my examination of the droids from the Ebon Hawk freighter. The T3 unit looked like it had shut itself down. The protocol droid, however, made up for it. It talked my ear off for most of the hour, asking questions about the facility, the personnel, and so on. Still, it wanted to make itself useful, so I put it to work until its master wakes up from the med bay. It seems to have some skills in speaking to droid behavior course, so there's been some trouble with some of the mining droids, so I'm signing off.
Alright, 253-12, Jedi.
Been speaking to the protocol droid about the Jedi in med bay. I thought they'd all gone away or been killed in the Jedi Civil War. The droid told me that his master is the only Jedi he knows of in all the galaxy, and that the Jedi had served in the Mandalorian Wars almost 10 years ago. That would have meant that the Jedi served under Revan for a time. Maybe the Jedi knows what happened to Revan after the end of the Jedi Civil War.
253-13, Exchange Bounty.
Been too busy to enter a log for a while. There's been more and more accidents since that Jedi arrived. The miners are starting to get restless, especially Korta. Korta said the exchange is offering a huge bounty on Jedi Knights and that we can make a fortune if we sell the Jedi to Nar Shaddaa. Security shut down that idea pretty quick, but I don't think Korta and his men are going to give up that easy. I mentioned the trouble to the Jedi's protocol droid, and he seemed concerned about his master's safety. I told the droid not to worry. The Korta wouldn't...
Alright. Log 253-14, sonic imprint sensor update.
With the protocol droid's help, I made some upgrades to the sonic imprint sensor, using some of the droid's vocabulary subroutines. In addition to its ability to store and record voices, it now has the droid's full array of alien languages, including Basic. Should prove useful as a portable translator. I tried to make sure the protocol unit got some credit for helping fashion it, but the droid refused, saying the work was reward enough. I was thinking of installing the prototype in one of the mining droids as a test, and see what happens.
Sonic sensor, access log 253-15, voice print ID.
When the dock officer reported the droids repairing the Ebon Hawk, I installed a voice print ID on the droid console system. Someone ordered them to repair that freighter, but I can't find a trace of the order anywhere. If anyone tries that again, they won't be able to do it from this terminal unless I let them. The voice print should cut any user off from the central functions unless I give the code.
Log 253-16, security problems.
The maintenance check on the droids didn't help. If anything, the accidents have increased. Security interrogated me about the droids and they weren't too happy with my answers. I don't understand it though. These aren't combat models. They shouldn't even know how to attack. I can't help but think, what if somebody staged the initial trouble with the mining droids just to get them all sent to maintenance, and then did something to them? I think security's right. Someone's trying to sabotage this facility and they're using the droids to do it. But why?
Turn to main console functions. Access emergency subroutines. Check for exits from Field Depot. Containment field active, administrative turbolift active, emergency turbolift shutdown airlock active. Check containment field. Breach in fuel lines detected, access to hangar bay denied. Trace the source of the breach. A blast in one of the main fuel lines. The containment field has been activated to keep the explosion isolated within the hangar bay and fuel lines. Awareness. That would imply that the fuel lines connect directly to the hangar bay. If you get access to the fuel lines, you could bypass the containment field entirely. Check fuel lines. Although the fuel lines are currently sealed because no ships are docked at the facility, they would open automatically if a ship did arrive. That would mean you would have to board the docked ship and go through the fuel line to reach the hangar, however, which would be an extreme means of gaining access. Check the other exits from Fuel Depot. Check turbolift to administration level. Turbolift to administration, access to Fuel Depot denied, access to administration permitted. Check the other exits. Mining tunnels, of course, is collapse. Check airlock. Sealed from inside this level, as if to prevent sun from coming in from the outside. Open door to airlock. Voice print identification required. Okay, which we have. Access comm system. Run diagnostic on damaged systems. Signal unit destroyed. Comm system from field depot inoperative. Okay. Access cameras. Containment field. Maintenance level camera. It's all familiar stuff. Fuel line sensors. Appears to be a damaged T3 unit dumped in the fuel line. It's probably our homie. There's also some sort of metal case lying next to the T3 unit, but you can't make it out. May have deliberately been dumped there. Airlock camera. Of course, we see that. Main console functions. Enter voice print code.
Maintenance control, voice print ID, R1B5.
Okay, so then we should just be the open door to airlock with maintenance officer override. Main console functions. Was there another one I can do? Check ventilation systems. Mining tunnels on the level above and the main living quarters on the other side of the asteroid. Ventilation system in the mining tunnels activated as soon as the containment fields went down. The system is now venting fuel out to the surface of the asteroid to keep it from building up within the facility. Trace source of containment field shut down. Remote in another section of the facility. Can't get a signature on the ID terminal. Okay, subroutines. I think that's the only thing I can do. Exits from field depot administration level. Automatically open only when entering administration from the field depot. So I could go back up to the administration level. But there's no point in doing that currently, I don't believe. Storage locker. Let's grab that spacesuit. Perfect, and that's a great time for us to end episode 2. Go ahead and save my game in a new slot here. Save 4. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely time, and I will see you next time.